Good evening and welcome to BBC Points West.
Our headlines tonight: the badger cull has begun. Protesters and farmers play cat and mouse in the Somerset countryside as the marksmen take aim.
Gloucestershire will be next. The cull here will start any day.
A fire at a new police training centre. The Chief Constable calls it heartbreaking.
And the ups and downs of a balloon race. We meet the West Country pilot after his latest adventure.
Good evening. Protesters in the West have vowed to keep up their campaign against the badger cull, even though marksmen have moved into Somerset and started shooting. The
policy aims to tackle TB in cattle, which has wiped out tens of thousands of cows, costing the taxpayers, the government says, an estimated £500 million. That's over the last decade. Andrew Plant spent last night out with the police and protesters, and he joins us now from the cull zone in Somerset. Andrew.
David, the very best estimate for a reduction in bovine TB from this cull is of 16%, and that's over several years. In fact, this entire trial cull is designed to see if it is even possible to kill enough badgers to make that reduction happen. Farmers say it is absolutely necessary. They are desperate to do something about a disease which regularly ravages farms, particularly in this area. But protesters, some of them based here at what's being called Camp Badger, just outside Watchet in Somerset tonight, dispute those figures. They say they will do whatever they can to make sure that this cull doesn't work, and that includes going out for 42 consecutive nights on badger patrol.
It's steep. This is going to be steep.
1 o'clock in the morning, this group are checking their map of badger sets and walking through a forest in Somerset looking for signs the badgers here are still alive.
And you'll have polished sides to the hole, so that shows it's well used. You won't have vegetation growing over the hole or anything like that.
This is just one of the groups of anti-cull protesters who are out on badger patrol across Somerset tonight. They're looking for badger sets, any signs of baiting, and also for cages used to trap the badgers too.
Earlier in the town of Minehead, around 250 protesters marched through the streets. They say the badger cull is inhumane and won't help fight TB.
I'm a scientist, so I look at the evidence and then I make decisions based on evidence, and this is just wrong.
This cull will have no impact whatsoever on the TB problem.
But many farmers believe it is the only way to tackle TB and blame badgers for spreading the disease.
We're operating closed herds. We're not buying it in from other cattle because we're not buying other cattle. So it must be coming from another source.
Police are actively patrolling the cull zones. Marksmen will aim to shoot around 5,000 badgers in parts of Somerset and Gloucestershire, 120 a day on average over this 6-week trial.
There's something running under there.
Protesters have vowed they'll do anything they lawfully can to stop them from reaching their target. Andrew Plant, BBC Points West.
Now, those protesters tell us they have broken down the cull area into manageable chunks and mapped every single badger set they can in those areas, and they will be patrolling them regularly for signs of baiting and trapping. But you can see from those pictures there just how difficult that might be, especially after dark here in Somerset, and how effective their protests will really be. Their numbers are relatively few and the area is very, very large. So we had it confirmed this morning just after 6 o'clock that the trial cull is now underway for the next 6 weeks here in Somerset. But there is another trial cull area in West Gloucestershire where the trial is yet to start. From there, here's my colleague Steve Nibbs.